On Friday, June 13, 2025, the world awoke to a day that would be etched into history. As the first rays of sunlight crept over cities from London to Tokyo, news alerts began to flash across screens, carrying a single chilling message. The Middle East was on the edge of catastrophe. The region, already simmering with tension, now stood on the brink of all-out war. The air was thick with uncertainty, and the world held its breath. Overnight, the skies above Iran erupted in a storm of fire and thunder. Israel had launched a massive, meticulously coordinated assault, unleashing a barrage of missiles and bombs that lit up the night. This was no limited strike. It was a bold, unprecedented operation, designed to cripple Iran's most sensitive military and nuclear sites in a single devastating blow. Chaos reigned as the world's media scrambled to make sense of the unfolding events. The long-feared conflict between Israel and Iran had finally erupted, sending shockwaves through every capital. In Tehran, Isfahan, and Kermanshah, residents watched in terror as streaks of light arced across the sky and thunderous blasts rattled their homes. For many, it was a night of fear and confusion, as families huddled together, unsure of what the morning would bring. Iranian state TV interrupted regular programming to confirm the unthinkable. The nation was under attack. Air raid sirens wailed across the capital, echoing through empty streets as people sought shelter. The operation, codenamed Rising Lion, was a display of modern warfare. Dozens of sites were targeted in a relentless wave of airstrikes, cyber attacks, and sabotage, each carefully chosen to maximize impact and confusion. Israeli jets penetrated deep into Iranian airspace, evading sophisticated defenses to strike at the very heart of Iran's military and nuclear infrastructure. The precision and scale of the attack stunned observers worldwide. In Israel, tension was palpable. Streets emptied as people gathered around televisions and phones, desperate for updates, their faces etched with worry and disbelief. As emergency sirens blared, citizens rushed to bomb shelters. The government declared a state of emergency, bracing for the inevitable retaliation that everyone feared was coming. Israel's leaders were quickly moved to secure underground bunkers, a stark signal of the gravity of the moment. The nation had crossed a line, and there was no turning back. This was a historic gamble, driven by the conviction that a nuclear-armed Iran posed an existential threat. The stakes had never been higher, and the world watched, transfixed and anxious. Now, as dawn breaks over a region forever changed, the world anxiously asks, what comes next? The answers remain uncertain, but one thing is clear: nothing will ever be the same again. Operation Rising Lion was the culmination of years of meticulous intelligence gathering, strategic planning, and technological innovation. Israeli defense officials had spent countless hours analyzing satellite imagery, intercepting communications, and running war games to prepare for this moment. Every detail was scrutinized, from the timing of the attack to the selection of targets, with the goal of crippling Iran's nuclear ambitions in a single, decisive blow. The operation began just before midnight under the cover of darkness. Israeli F-35S and F-15S roared into the night sky, flying low and fast to avoid detection. Their mission, to strike key Iranian military and nuclear sites with precision-guided munitions, minimizing collateral damage while maximizing impact. But before the first bomb fell, a wave of sophisticated cyber attacks swept through Iran's air defense networks. These digital strikes disabled radar systems, jammed communications, and sowed confusion among Iranian commanders, effectively blinding the country's defenses and clearing a path for the incoming jets. The primary target was Natanz, Iran's heavily fortified and deeply buried uranium enrichment facility. This site, at the heart of Iran's nuclear program, was struck with specialized bunker-busting munitions designed to penetrate its defenses. Simultaneously, Israeli jets hit other critical sites: the Iraq heavy water reactor, missile production facilities in Isfahan, and key military command centers. Each strike was carefully coordinated to maximize disruption and limit Iran's ability to retaliate. The overarching objective was clear: to decapitate Iran's military response, destroy its nuclear infrastructure, and send a powerful message to Tehran and the world about Israel's capabilities. In a dramatic escalation, high-value individuals were also targeted. IRGC commanders and top nuclear scientists found themselves in the crosshairs, as Israel sought to disrupt not just facilities, but the leadership behind Iran's programs. Iran scrambled its fighter jets in a desperate attempt to repel the attack. but the speed, coordination and surprise of the Israeli operation exposed glaring weaknesses in Iran's air defenses, revealing a major intelligence and operational failure. In the aftermath, Israel declared that Operation Rising Lion would continue until Iran's nuclear and missile capabilities were completely neutralized, signaling a willingness to escalate further if necessary. For ordinary Iranians, the strikes ushered in a terrifying new reality, one marked by fear, uncertainty, and the specter of further conflict. For the world, it was a stark demonstration of Israel's resolve, and a reminder of how quickly the balance of power in the Middle East can shift. Israel quickly claimed responsibility for the operation, moving swiftly to shape the global narrative and justify its actions on the world stage. Officials framed the assault as an act of self-defense, emphasizing the existential threat posed by Iran's nuclear ambitions and the need to protect Israeli citizens from potential devastation. Prime Minister Netanyahu addressed the nation and the world, declaring that new intelligence revealed Iran was only months away from developing a nuclear weapon, a scenario Israel could not allow to unfold. He argued that years of failed diplomacy, broken promises and ineffective sanctions had left Israel with no alternative but to act militarily, insisting that all peaceful avenues had been exhausted. The final trigger, according to Israeli officials, was concrete evidence that Iran was moving its nuclear program to even deeper, more fortified underground sites, making future intervention nearly impossible. The attack came just days after the International Atomic Energy Agency issued a formal censure of Iran, which Israel cited as international validation for its actions, and a sign that the world shared its concerns. By launching the strike, Israel aimed to halt what it saw as a rapidly closing window to prevent Iran from reaching the nuclear threshold, believing delay would only increase the danger. Netanyahu addressed the Israeli public directly, warning citizens to brace for a prolonged and difficult conflict, invoking the historic promise of never again to rally national resolve. The operation was cast as a last resort, a necessary step to secure Israel's future and ensure the safety of generations to come, even as families prepared for uncertain days ahead. For Israeli leaders, this was not a war of choice, but a war of necessity, one they believed was forced upon them by circumstances beyond their control. The Israeli strikes put the U.S. in a precarious position. Washington immediately denied involvement, with Secretary of State Rubio and Defense Secretary Hegseth stressing the U.S. did not participate. President Trump publicly opposed the attack, urging diplomacy and revealing a rift between the allies. Despite advance warning, the U.S. distanced itself, while quietly preparing for regional fallout. Over 40,000 U.S. troops in the Middle East were put on high alert, and embassies evacuated non-essential staff. The U.S. military bolstered defenses, bracing for possible Iranian retaliation. America now faces the challenge of supporting its ally while avoiding a wider war. By striking Iran without U.S. support, Israel has taken a historic risk. For decades, Israel relied on American backing. Now it stands alone against a formidable adversary. The immediate danger: massive retaliation from Iran and its proxies, including Hezbollah's vast missile arsenal. Israel's air defenses could be overwhelmed in a multi-front assault, threatening unprecedented destruction. Daily life has ground to a halt as Israelis brace for impact, the nation on a war footing. The gamble: will the operation set back Iran's nuclear ambitions, or provoke a catastrophic regional war? If successful, it will be seen as a bold act of self-preservation. If not, as reckless hubris. Israel now owns the consequences, whatever they may be. Israel's attack sent shockwaves through global markets and diplomacy. Oil prices surged as fears of supply disruption gripped the world. Airlines rerouted flights to avoid Iranian airspace, causing chaos in international travel. The Strait of Hormuz, vital for global oil, became a potential conflict zone, threatening trade. Diplomatically, the attack shattered hopes for renewed nuclear talks and empowered hardliners in Tehran. The UN will likely convene, but divisions make meaningful action unlikely. Middle East alliances are shifting, with Gulf states both anxious and quietly supportive. US bases in the region are now at risk, forcing countries to choose sides or scramble for neutrality. The fragile diplomatic architecture of recent years has collapsed. The world faces a new era defined by the unpredictable logic of war. As the dust settles, the world faces a haunting question: Was Israel's strike necessary self-defense, or a catastrophic miscalculation? Supporters argue Israel had no choice after years of Iranian deception and failed diplomacy. Critics say the attack isolated Israel, shattered consensus, and may accelerate Iran's nuclear ambitions. The region now teeters on the edge of wider war, with the future uncertain for millions. Will Iran's response be measured, or will it unleash all-out retaliation? Can world powers contain the conflict, or will it spiral out of control? The world watches, hoping for de-escalation, but bracing for the worst.